talk about the 5 principles of success for life coaches. Talking about the 5 principles of success in a little more detail allows us to be sure we fully understand them and what they're going to do for us. Number 1, know your outcome. Before embarking on a particular course of action, it's a good idea to know what you want the final outcome to be. Ask yourself, what's my outcome for this? What do I want? If the outcome is something that will happen sometime in the future rather than in the present, it can also be good to keep a written record of what outcome you wanted and why. Number 2, take positive action. The best way to get the outcome you want is to take positive action and go through the steps required to get it. Rarely do we get something we want without putting in some effort up front. You may be using this course with a specific outcome in mind, enhancing your communication and interpersonal skills, beating a fear of flying, easily changing your diet to include more healthy foods and ditching the fast foods, for example. If you don't have an outcome for using this course, take some positive action and choose an outcome, and then take some more positive action and write it down. We generally make stronger commitments, even if it's only to ourselves, to things we put it down in writing. Number 3, have sensory awareness to know if you are being effective. Ever found yourself enthusiastically sharing everything you know about something that you're really interested in, only to find that when you look around to find out why the other person has stopped responding, either their eyes have glazed over, they've fallen asleep, or worse still, they've left the room and you've been talking to yourself for the past 15 minutes. Your 5 senses, the visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory and gustatory, are there for a very good reason. They provide exquisite feedback to allow you to gauge if your actions are producing useful results or not. Learn to use them well. Number 4, have behavioural flexibility. If you know your outcome, you're taking positive action to achieve it, and you have enough sensory awareness to know that you are not getting the results you want, you have the choice to make. You can either carry on doing the same things or continue to produce unwanted results, or you can adapt your behaviour as necessary until you get your outcome. The law of exquisite variety. From the field of cybernetics comes a law of exquisite variety, which states, the greater the variety within a system, the greater its ability to reduce variety in its environment through regulation. In layman's terms, in a system of interaction, i.e. between individual human beings, the part of the system with the greatest flexibility in its behaviours will control the system. As a useful example, consider the relationship between parent and child. The parent is expected to behave in a certain manner, conform to certain patterns of belief laid down by its peers as to how a good parent should behave. On the other hand, in our society, we are more tolerant of behaviour demonstrated by children. They're only children after all. Hence, children have greater behavioural flexibility than the adults, which they often use to their advantage, i.e., when we hear the magical chimes of the ice cream van, and very often they end up controlling the system by adapting their behaviour until they get their outcome, an ice cream. Another, perhaps more succinct consideration is this: if you always do what you've always done, then you'll always get what you've always got. Number 5, operate from a physiology and psychology of excellence. Human beings have a certain physiologies intimately linked to certain emotional states, and we can utilise this phenomenon to maximise the results that we can produce. As we'll learn from the NLP communication model, physiology is intimately linked to state and behaviour, and a change in any one is reflected in the other two. When we adopt negative physiology, we enter negative emotional states and produce negative behaviours. Conversely, adopting a positive physiology has positive impacts on both emotional state and resulting behaviours. When we act positively, we produce positive results. Our choice to operate from a physiology and psychology of excellence changes our world for the better and helps us to maximize the results that we produce.